his father deals with JuJu. His father deals with black magic. I'm saying it. I don't care. Yes, I've said it. Now, anyone want to turn around and say, oh, no, Spencer, you can't say it. I have said it. So therefore, that is iniquity. You know what I mean?
How do you know that?
Well, because I know. You know what I mean? Because I know. So therefore, if you're a work of iniquity, you ain't getting no victory over Anthony Joshua. Nothing to do with Daniel. You know what I mean? Daniel's father, he was working JuJu. And that's that. Dealing with those arts.
Yeah.
So therefore, those things, you can't be successful on those things. Do you know what I mean?
So you're saying Daniel...
You know what I mean? I don't care who wants to get upset by it, but like I said to you again, no worker of iniquity ain't getting no victory over Anthony Joshua. I've said it, and I'm sticking by it. And if you have a problem with it, you know where to find me.
Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois, break it down for me.
It's a grotesque mismatch.
Okay, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. So look, it's been a few days now since the shock to most people, but not to me, as I called it a month ago in my video, that Daniel Dubois would KO Anthony Joshua when they met at Wembley, right? And a lot of the AJ fanboys coming over to my channel telling me, no, it ain't gonna happen. And listen, not all of them are fanboys. Some of them were just fans of boxing who felt like Anthony Joshua had this in the bag and Daniel Dubois wasn't experienced enough to win this fight. But one of those people, one of those people who's putting it out there in the atmosphere, who a lot of people heard right close to near the fight, was Spencer Fearons. I gotta call you out, Spencer Fearons, seriously now, because it's got to the point now where people have noticed. If you look at a Spencer Fearons interview and look in the comment section, right, you see a lot of people have got a lot of things to say about Spencer. But then again, I'm the type of person, I'm not really bothered about what people say about me. But if I had the amount of comments, negative comments like that, right, on every single one of my interviews, I'll start to look in the mirror and think there's something that there's something wrong here, right? Something's not right here. Spencer Fearons went on a crusade a couple of days before the fight, and he basically threw Stan Dubois under the bus, saying that he deals with JuJu. JuJu meaning JuJu, black magic, obia, whatever you want to call it, right? Same thing. So he says no worker of iniquity will beat Anthony Joshua, right? So again, he was asked, how do you know that Daniel Dubois' dad deals with stuff like this? He said, trust me, I know. So he actually give a reason. He just says, I know, right? So bold claims, throwing it out there with no receipts, 0 receipts, right? He also says it's bad for boxing if Daniel Dubois wins the fight. We need Anthony Joshua. I mean, how far? Listen, Spencer Fearons, he's always kissing Anthony Joshua's ass. I'm not even gonna lie. Every single time we talk about Anthony Joshua, it's like, the sun shines out of Anthony Joshua's backside. I don't know what it is. It's like he's sucking up to AJ. He wants to be part of AJ's camp, or he wants, he's trying to be close to AJ. You don't want to say a bad word about him or be real. Not even a bad word. Just be real. Because I was real a month ago when I said Daniel Dubois is going to knock AJ out, right? Because I just see it as real. I look at fights, I work out fights, can break it down, and for me, Daniel Dubois had the edge on this fight. For me, if I was a bookie, I would have had Dubois as a favourite, right? So Spencer Fearons has now got egg all over his face. He hasn't done an interview since the fight, and a lot of people want to hear from him. Right, a lot of people felt like he jinxed the fight. He jinxed his fight with Anthony Joshua. When you start to put negative energy out there in the atmosphere, you know what happens? It comes back round and it comes back to bite you in the ass. I'm a person that knows that all too well. If you put negative energy out there and you try to fling it on somebody, it will come back on you. Stan Dubois made a statement after the fight. He called out Spencer Fearons and says, yeah, right, listen. Who God trusts, no man can curse. Any man that believes in God, no man can curse. That's what he said. Something like that along those lines, right? And if you ask me, looking from the outside, looking in, if I have to say who's the worker of iniquity, who's the man that plays around with that type of stuff there, bro, I'm not even gonna lie, man. Spencer Fearons always putting negative energy out there. Always putting negative energy out there. And if you deal with the Most High and you deal with the scriptures and stuff like that, you should not be putting energy out there like that. If you know it inside out, or you've done your learning and your studies, you should know Don't be washing your mouth on nobody. If I was Anthony Joshua, I would have some words for Spencer Fearons. Say, listen, mate. Anytime I fight, I don't want to hit. Listen, personally, I know you're trying to crawl up my ass and shit like that. You know what I mean? And you're trying to big me up, but please don't talk before my fights. Because it just seems like he was so desperate for attention. Because Spencer Fearon is irrelevant in this boxing thing. I'm telling you, he's irrelevant. He's a former fighter, former Sky pundit who lost his job. I can't remember why he lost his job. Maybe some of you in the comments can tell me why he lost his job. Now he's doing his own thing. You know, he's hooked. You know, he's got his brethren Tunde Ajayi. I got nothing against Tunde, the trainer of Anthony Yard, right? But you know, they got their little Stamina for Sale podcast, which I listen to. Well, I have not of recently because my old channel got taken down. Since then, I haven't subscribed to the new channel, but I do listen to it now and again, right? And I find it entertaining sometimes. But sometimes Spencer, man, you just think that he just takes that moral high ground, thinking that he's better than everyone else and he knows everything more than everyone else. You know what I mean? There's a couple of times I got some receipts on him still. If he I know he ain't gonna clap back at this video. I know he ain't gonna say nothing. He ain't gonna say nothing. But if he does, I got receipts, man. I got receipts on anyone I talk about, and I tried to call them. I called them out on something. I got receipts on you, bro. So if I call your name and I'm saying something, I might not disclose the full information, but I got receipts on Spencer. Self-proclaimed knowledge. He just seemed so desperate for attention before this fight. Please recognize me. My name's Spencer Fearon. You know, I'm the big boxing pundit from South London. And, you know, please recognize me. You know, then he's all that whole thing with Carl Froch. He's calling out Carl Froch in defense of AJ again. Like, what's hey, Spence, man, what's this Captain Saverhole, man? What's wrong with you? Every time someone says something about Anthony Joshua, Spencer comes to his aid, right? So now he said something about Carl Froch. I'm not going to go into that because that's not what we're talking about. But the next time he goes to a fight, a big major event, and Carl Froch is there, I would definitely like to see the face-off between them two because, you know, they're both guys roughly about the same age. They're roughly about the same weight. So it can happen, innit? It can happen. Spence, if you got, listen, a message to Spencer Fearon. You've got so much to say about Carl Froch. Why don't you fight him? Why don't you fight him? I'm sure the boxing public would like to see you two fight. And you're roughly about the same age. You fought roughly around the same weight. I'd like to see that. Why not? Anyway, I just got to call out Spence. This is a bit of a rant. Anyway, I never planned this. I never laid that note. I mean, I haven't wrote it down or nothing. This is just off the cuff. But Spencer Fearon, man. This guy. This guy. People need to call this guy out, man. Seriously. Because if he gets a strong influence in boxing, he's like, you know what I mean? It's negative. It's nothing but negativity that comes out of this guy's mouth. And there's a lot of people that have a lot of things to say. I mean, though, you know, I've got, outside of what I'm talking about now, there are maybe one or two others, but I'm not going to mention it here. It's not big enough for me to mention, but I can just look at the comment section when he does a video. But anyway, I know a lot of people are going to be anticipating his next video to see what he comes out with. And I know, obviously, next time if the Stamina for Sale podcast goes live or whatever, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people over there, and a lot of people are going to be asking Spencer some questions. I mean, we only have to look back to that whole Willie Hutchinson and Craig Richards situation, and there was a little situation there when Willie Hutchinson was making some comments towards Craig Richards in a racial tone, allegedly, and you know, something to do with Spencer Fearon got Boxing King Media to cut it out of his video, and a lot of people were upset. A lot of people were upset about Spencer. It was a few months ago. Even shout out to Lady Shan. She was fuming with Spencer Fearon. She called him out and everything. She even spoke to him one-to-one on the phone, and I think she cussed him out on the phone and stuff like that. But yeah, you know. Well, anyway, I don't know much more to say, but Spencer Fearon, man. I don't wanna disrespect him in any sort of way or anything like that. So you're not gonna hear me say that on this channel, but I'm gonna say the truth though, bro. You know, you're not as important as you make out to be, and the knowledge of boxing is not advanced as you like to make it out to be. You understand what I'm saying? I must have about 50, 60 old school boxing fights from back in the day, all on VHS tape, like, you know, 4-hour tapes full of fights. I used to study boxing inside out. the Ring magazines. Got Ring magazines. I've got Boxing Monthly magazines. Like, I'm talking like boxes and boxes of it. Stacked away in my mum's house and that. She wants me to get rid of it, but I don't want to do. I don't want to just throw it away. But listen, extensive boxing knowledge, man. There's a lot of us that have it from back in the day, and you know, to be honest, to tell you the truth, man, he's nothing special to me, man. Knowledge, he calls himself the knowledge. He's nothing special to me anyway. Don't have that much knowledge than I think the next man his age. You know what I mean? But anyway, look, I've said enough. I've said enough. It is what it is. It is what it is.